back. We're here.
We're back.
Part 2.
So the only thing we got through in that prior recording was we talked about Sands, how he is out for the season. That dropped, after we recorded the last episode.
Yep.
So, I don't know if you want to sum up a little bit how we feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, first it sucks, period, to lose such an important player. However boring he is to watch play. I mean, but it's a good kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like he kills games. But at the end of the day, the club has to be way more transparent, way quicker. Unless there was a situation where it was like right before the game that he felt the pain or whatever, or the training session before, but it's got to come out quicker than coming out with a lineup that's insane. Yeah,
although we said, it probably wasn't the case that it happened right before, but then to sort of put that messenger role on somebody like Ian, who, we love him. Most everybody in the community loves him, but just because of the way he may have worded his tweet incorrectly, he literally got killed for having to be the guy announcing this Sands thing 20 minutes before we kicked off.
Yeah, and that ends up making him look like he's promoting his show, when in reality he's being told by the club you can't announce this until the lineup comes out.
Yeah.
Which puts him in a terrible spot.
Yeah, and all it takes is a tweet from the club, hey, Sam's is out for the season,
which is terrible to say, but it's definitely say that the minute you know.
They are the people to tell us.
Yeah, the minute you know, you have to say that.
The club is the people to tell us. So, not to dwell on that too long, we could jump into the Orlando game also. So that one,
weird.
Yeah, it was a weird game to start off with the lineup coming out, and we see Mott starting at left wing. Happy to see Thor starting at left back at least, although wasn't playing too well, I'll be honest. And I think it was Ian during the game even that kind of called him out a little bit. I don't know if you caught it, but he said, if these players are going to be asking for more play time, then when they do get it, they need to perform better. And he didn't really attach a name to it or anything, but it's only one person in the post-game presser the other night said he doesn't feel like he's getting the time he deserves. So I don't know. I feel like it was sort of directed at him maybe.
Well, this is where this gets weird. So I was at work watching the game, and we had 2 different commentary teams.
Right, yeah.
And so I didn't catch the Ian comment, but even...
It might have been Tollison even, I'm not sure, but...
Even the announcers for the home Columbus Crew team, they were even saying hey, this dude's been asking for time, and he's not playing well.
Right, yeah.
But I don't think that left side played as well as the potential they had to. They didn't play up to the potential at all.
Well, that's always been our problem. Since episode 1, we've talked about how our left side is the weakest side of our team.
I got catfished.
Yeah.
For sure. I texted you and I was like, well, now our left side is as strong as the right side.
Yep. For one game.
Nope.
It looked nice for one game.
It looked nice for maybe 13 minutes.
Yeah. So, I guess the bottom line is I guess I agree with Ian or Tollison, whoever it was that said it. And that really goes for any player. We're not picking on Thor. Everyone knows that we love Thor if you watch the show. But I think if anybody in the team, in any team, in the world, if you're going to be asking for time, then make sure, when you get in the lineup, you're going to prove that you deserve to be there. That said, it was one game. At that time, it was one game. I was going to say tonight, we can talk about tonight in a little while. But overall, that game, like you said, was a little so-so. It was a little back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, part of me looks from watching that game, part of me goes, yeah, well, good to get a point against such a good team. But on the other side, it's if we are just a little more clinical, if we're playing people in positions and putting them in places to succeed, we win that game 10 times out of 10. Mm-hmm. And even same with tonight. It's these teams are good and they are in form, but we have a lot of talent. And if you put them in the right positions, they will play well and they will win games.
Right. And somebody that really needs to focus a little bit more on being clinical and stuff like that is Taty. But who we did see in that Orlando game make a really great assist. I mean, it was super unselfish, which is a little unlike Taty. It was really composed with, so many players around him to lay that off to Keaton. And I just enjoyed that assist from Taty. Like, it was the next best thing after a goal to see him pull something like that off.
Stuff like that just reminds me that, like, he is a very good player, but he's not a striker. Like, that type of play tells me that he plays out wide more. Because he's looking to either shoot or pass 99% of the time, and not necessarily pass really at all.
Yeah.
Which is why it's like, oh, so he passed in. That's crazy. That's a great play.
Yeah.
But
well, that's sort of what made it impressive by him, is because it was out of character.
Yeah.
Like, not only was it, it was a decent assist.
Normally he just puts his foot through it.
Yeah, I would say most players in that position are probably not shooting on like a defender on your back and a goalie like fully spread in front of you. But for him to be unselfish, that's why it was sort of something to take note of.
Yeah, I would like for Maxi to come back, play a full game, see Taty out wide, and running at players like that. I think that's what he does best.
Yeah.
I don't really think I think we talked about it last time, or maybe we just talked about it personally. I just don't like the sight of him with his back to goal. It's just not. He's had flashes where he can control a ball and play a pass out wide, but it's few and far in between. It's not his best trait. He's more of a guy to get the ball, run at players, and make things happen.
Yeah, well, he's not like your 90-minute number 9.
No.
Like,
he's not even really a 45-minute 9. I don't think he's a number 9 at all.
Right, yeah. And that's, I don't know, I feel like that's something probably everybody feels across the fan base. It's becoming like very apparent that that's the truth.
Yeah. I mean, and I always go back to when we talked to Tactics, and he was like, telling us how Dome convinced us that he was a number 9 and he's not. It's the most true thing he's ever said. It's the realest thing I've ever heard. And at that time I didn't know. I wish I did.
Yeah.
We
still had our hopes.
I would not have wished for this.
Yeah, and we can kind of like bounce around here in general because now
at this point we've watched the 4th games.
Yeah, instead of just focusing on Orlando, like, so it's about an hour after watching the Columbus game now too, and we're aware that now Taty won't be our number 9 next week. Who will be our number 9? That's the question.
Need to play a number 9.
Yeah, we don't have somebody that can.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I told you, and I'm gonna say it here so I get held accountable. If Keaton Parks gets anywhere near number 9, I promise you right now, I will not watch a game until Ronnie is no longer our manager. 100%. I'm standing by that. And so I'll sit up here and I'll say, oh, is that what you think about the game? That's good. That's really good. All right, well, that's the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's people out there that would agree with you, and there's people out there that would disagree with you.
I just feel like he's gonna go, oh well, he's like 17 feet tall. He could just throw him up there. He might be able to hit a ball.
Well, what you alluded to that would probably be the best idea, and the one that makes the most sense would be playing a false 9 with Maxi now that he's back in that role.
Gary M's out left. I just made that name up. I'm sad. I'm mad at myself. I wish we could delete that.
And who would you like outright then?
Not Shrady.
Nope, not him.
Man, Medina looks bad too.
I think
rough.
I was gonna say I think you put Mackay outright and you put Taty out left. Well, you can't put Taty out left. So I don't know.
Dude, it's tough. Like
we put Mott's back up, right? I guess
we ran out of wingers and strikers.
This is something we could have never guessed.
Dude, we ran out of everybody. We don't have wingers anymore. Like, what do we
never had defenders. So
in reality, it's going to be Maxi false 9, Shrady out right, and probably
Mott's out left.
No, it's going to be Gary M's. Now I can't stop. It's going to be Gary M's forever. I can't.
I don't remember if it was the botch recording or if it was this recording that we talked about. Or maybe it wasn't even ever recorded when we talked about Izzy.
That was pre.
Yeah, Izzy tonight was like, I almost don't even want to see him play in the next game.
But you know he will.
I know he will, which is the tough part. But it's like, since his brace, I just don't know Like most players score 2 goals and then like
Go on a little run.
yeah, they go on a little run.
His legs are not built for it.
I guess not. Like he must have literally just emptied all the tanks on that brace, and then there is nothing left. Because tonight, I swear, every single time that he touched the ball, it was like giving it to Columbus. Every single time.
At the same time, though, that's how I thought I was seeing Keaton. But it's like, I feel like every time I watch Keaton, I'm watching for a mistake.
Yeah.
And I only recognize it only gets in my brain when he does actually make a mistake. Mm-hmm. Because
I mean, there were mistakes there from Keaton too. I'll say that.
I only saw displaced passes from him. I swear I didn't see a good pass from him.
I'll say, I mean, there are mistakes too, but you definitely look at him with a little bit of like animosity.
Because I just don't think I don't know his role in the team is the best way for me to say it.
It's tough, bro. It's like, I don't know. I almost don't know anybody's role in this team. It's the craziest part, aside from like Tinnerholm.
No, we weren't questioning players under Dome or Patrick Vieira or any other manager. That's when I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that's always Ronnie out, but that's how I feel in my heart. I do.
How did we get here?
I don't know. It's just how I feel. It's like,
well, I will say,
we haven't had a result really in 3 games.
One of the notes that I did have that was really the only one that pertained to Ronnie was after watching us play and now seeing that we won't have Chanot and we won't have Taty next week, and it's like our roster it's beginning to get thin, and it was already pretty thin. And then you start thinking about like new player acquisition, and the first thing that came to my mind during the game was, what was it, a week or 2 ago, Ronnie's like, now is not a good time to get players, so like we're not really gonna do it.
I don't understand.
It's just crazy.
But at the same time, like I was telling you, I believe in my heart he's just a mouth for the club right now.
Yeah.
The club, I believe a lot of our players are playing on lower wages to help the club. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be the reason that we're not acquiring players.
I hope so.
And getting players who are getting paid a lot off of our books, aka Matrita.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a financial failure than us not wanting or needing players, because we definitely need players. We definitely want players.
Yeah. So, I mean, tonight's game, my main note is that like Sean deserves a way better defense. Although I do feel he needs to, instead of parrying a lot of the time, maybe try to catch a ball or two. Not that I'm a professional goalkeeper and I've ever been faced with professional shots, but it seems like a lot of times.
I mean, you've definitely stood in goal when I shot. It's happened.
Okay, I mean,
it's definitely happened more than once. So
I can put it,
kind of
attest to it.
It's not the same, but you could definitely see what power's like.
Yeah, and I can't catch him.
No,
but I'm also not Sean Johnson.
Yeah, no, I feel like without Sean Johnson tonight, that game is looking like 1-8-9. I mean, it could have gone so south.
Yeah.
Because our defense is just like, oh, there's a ball played across.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yo, you didn't get that? That's wild.
Yeah.
I'll get the next one.
Yeah. And then by the time we figured out that we had to go for balls, it involved Chanot literally just barreling his way through the 18 and just murdering
a man. Almost Dak Prescotted that man
for no reason.
Well, to be fair, that Columbus Crew player put our whole defense on notice. Like our whole team put him on notice.
Well, it was a great ball to him, and then like we were just getting pace abused for 90 minutes.
Is this a blessing in disguise? As opposed to the Taty suspension, is this a blessing in disguise? Be honest with me.
You actually...
Be honest.
You actually love the blessings that are also disguises. It's like your favorite thing.
I do. I mean, this is going to be...
This is going to be like our fourth blessing that's also disguised.
This is going to be the most chaotic defense we've ever seen. But at least it's Montreal.
At least it's Montreal.
But it's going to be so chaotic. I'm kind of excited to see the chaos. We got Ibiaga coming in. We got probably...
I kind of like Ibiaga better than Chanot, dude.
I just like anyone better than Chanot right now. Yeah. He's playing like awful. I think he's played awful for many games, like for majority of the season.
Well, we've called that like to give him a break for a while. Like it's been a couple episodes where we've said figure out a way to give Collins and him both a break.
Yeah, or one of them at least.
And somehow they figured out how to give themselves breaks. So
yeah.
somehow we're here, and we're gonna see how it goes. Unfortunately, not at the same time, but we're gonna see how it goes. So the other last thing was that the MLS announced how whatever committee ran the supporter shield came out and said they're just not gonna award the supporter shield this season. As a team that's not fighting for it,
Yep. Who cares?
I don't really care. I think the Portland coach or the Toronto coach came out and they were like, oh, it was the Toronto coach. He was actually very angry about it because they're in first place. Yeah. So it makes sense.
I mean, it sucks for the people who were actually in contention for it.
Yeah.
But for us, it's kind of like it's one less trophy we didn't win.
Yeah. Well, we cannot be like, oh, we didn't win this and we could have. Like, we're good enough.
I mean, it kind of helps Ronnie a little bit. It's one less thing that he wasn't in contention for. You know?
Ronnie.
Anyways, Post 90 podcast on all socials if you like.
Yeah.
Enjoy the gibberish and tangents and whatever we say.
Leave us comments.
Yeah, we like talking to you guys.
Yeah.
We're bored in the house.
And follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah, because a lot of you guys don't subscribe.
That's the important one.
Yes, that's all from us, folks.
That's about it.
We'll see you next week.
Next week?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Will we? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even gonna start another tangent. Never mind. Because this is wild.
What is it? Just give a teaser.
There's no midweek, so there's no midweek game.
Okay.
So there's only a weekend game. So it'll be a week from now.
Okay. We'll see you guys in a week.
Yeah. We'll see you then.
Peace.
Bye.